Welcome to another free tip video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. I get asked this question at least once a week. Someone emails me saying, I'm using Access, I'm following along with your lessons, but when I'm designing my forms and reports, I'm seeing grid lines instead of the fine little grid dots that I see in your videos. How do I fix that? Well, let's take a look. Okay, here I am inside one of my Access databases, and you can see in the background here I've got these thick grid lines. Now the first giveaway should be that if you look at the ruler bars, what you're seeing there are millimeters instead of inches. The problem is that your Windows settings have you configured for metric measurements, so we have to switch that over to the normal US or English measurements. So we need to go to our Windows control panel. This is not a setting in Access. So open up your control panel. I'm using Windows 7, but it's the same in pretty much every version of Windows, whether it's 8 or Vista. Find Language, Clock, and Region. All right, Region and Language. That opens up this dialog box. On the Formats tab, come down here to where it says Additional Settings. The Customize Format dialog appears. Scroll down. Right down here, Measurement System, switch from metric to US. Now, I'm sorry if you want to keep the rest of your system in metric, but if you want to see the grid dots, this is how you have to do it. Hit Apply, and then close all this out. And now you're going to have to restart your database. But now when you open it up, notice now I have the grid dots in the background, and my ruler bars are now in inches. So that's why you see the grid lines versus the grid dots. Now if you look at the form's properties, open up the properties for the form, go to the Alt tab. There's a setting on here, if you scroll down. There's grid X and grid Y, and they're set to 24. What that means is you're seeing 24 of these little dots per inch. 24 dots per inch, vertically and horizontally. That's what the X and Y is. Now, if you switch back to metric, which I just did in the control panel again, there's just not enough space in there to display 24 grid dots. So if you want to keep your system in metric, if you're in Britain or the rest of the world that uses the metric system, which the US should, but we don't, if you come into your properties here again and find the grid settings, if you set that to something more reasonable, like let's say 5 dots, notice now the dots appear in there. Okay? It can't fit 24, but it can fit 5, maybe 6. So you can set whatever you want for your grid dot setting if you still want to use metric and you still want to see those little grid dots. That's completely up to you. But that's why the forms might look different from what you see in my videos, because I'm using the English system with inches, and if you're set to metric, that's the way it's going to look for you. So again, that's a Windows control panel setting. So I hope this video explains why you may see grid lines or grid dots in your database depending on your settings. If you'd like more free tip videos like this, please feel free to visit my website at AccessLearningZone.com, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send them to me or post them below. Thanks.